Right next to me is a gentleman. His name is called Jeremy Lin of the Golden State Warriors, and he's nice enough to come out to meet the entire community and the schools of 640 plus kids. And right now, can I have all of you boys and girls give me applause to Mr. Jeremy Lin over here.
Alright, hey guys, thanks for having me. Definitely very thankful to be here. I just wanted to share a few words about education, sports, and what it's like to be a minority. So I grew up in the Bay Area just like all you guys, and my parents always wanted me to focus on academics before athletics. So every day when I went home, it was all about my schoolwork. If I didn't finish my schoolwork, if I wasn't taking care of my classes, I wouldn't be able to play on the basketball teams. And so if my grades were too low, I wouldn't be able to play. I would have to sit out for a week, 2 weeks until my grades got back up. And so my first encouragement to you guys is to make sure you take care of your schoolwork. For me, if I didn't go to Harvard on the East Coast, I would never have made it to the NBA. If I never took care of my schoolwork, I would never have made it to Harvard. And so, you know, for me, I'm looking back, if I never took care of my schoolwork, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be able to play in the NBA. And so schoolwork is important because it gives you the opportunity to go to a lot of different colleges. And then in terms of basketball or sports or whatever it may be for you, whether it's art, I don't know what your passion is, just to pursue your passion. And being a minority, a lot of times, whether you know you're Asian or black or whatever it is, people will tell you you can't do this or you can't do that. And the biggest thing for me to tell you guys is you can do whatever you want to do, and you can pursue whatever dream you want to pursue. I know a lot of people told me I couldn't play basketball because I was Asian, I was too short, I was too skinny, all these different things. And I know people are telling you guys the same things, but I just want to make sure that you guys know if you put your 100% effort, you never know where you're going to end up. So just to be able to pursue your dreams and not allow other people to tell you what you can and can't do. Thank you. Alright, I'm just going to take you guys through my warm-up that I do before the games. When I first get on the court, I just stand underneath the rim and I just shoot like this with one hand, just to work on my form, just to get everything down, because a lot of times when you get in the gym and you're cold, you might not be warm, you might not have your rhythm, you might not have your shooting form. So I just stand here, I shoot about 30 swishes, then I go out to half court and I do some ball handling. So I start without moving. So I'll stand here and I'll dribble with my right hand, and then I'll go front to back, side to side. I'll switch it to my left hand, same thing. Might do a little figure eight. Sorry, this is hard with the microphone. So you just do different things like that. And then you can go, I go side to side, so from sideline to sideline, I'll start with crossovers. So you go all the way down, and then you do through the legs on the way back. Go here, and then you can go backwards. You can go backwards through the legs, and then you can go behind the back. And so I do all these things, and then my body starts to warm up. And then once I start warming up, then that's when the coaches kind of come over and they do a lot of different drills. Mostly just shooting drills. From you might start in the corner, run to the elbow right here, shoot, run back to the corner. You just keep going back and forth and shooting. And then we'll start doing three-pointers, spot shooting. And then after that, you're pretty much ready to play.
Boys and girls, did you write some questions down for Jeremy to answer? All right, so we have a bag of questions here. So if Jeremy, you don't mind, just pull out some of the questions, and hopefully you can read maybe the question and who wrote it.
Okay. Can your dad and mom play basketball? From Annie Chu. They can play, but I know my mom played a little bit in high school, and my dad plays recreationally, and so that's where I learned basketball from. So they definitely play. My dad still plays in his spare time. How did you learn to play basketball? From Michael. I think the biggest thing is coaching. When you're a little kid, when you guys are young, you'll have your coaches. You have your coach right here. Just to listen to your coach and to never think that you know more than your coach, because you never know more than your coach. And so for me, I ran into a couple good coaches that really showed me the way. I had one coach who taught me from 5th grade to 11th grade. And so that's probably the biggest thing for skill development. Okay. If your family had lived closer to another team that offered you a contract, like Dallas or Los Angeles, would you have played for them instead of the Warriors? From Rob Fong. That's a good question. So me signing with the Warriors isn't only because I grew up here. That's part of it. But there's a lot of other stuff that is important as well, in terms of style of play, the roster space, the coach, the terms of the contract, and so there's a lot of different options. And there was a good chance that I wouldn't sign with the Warriors, or I didn't sign with the Warriors last year. Had a couple other things happen, but it's not all about where I grew up, so it's tough to say yes or no to this question. You went to Harvard and could have been a doctor, lawyer, or a scientist. Why did you choose to do sports for a living? From Miss Kwong's kindergarten class. That's a good question too. I just love basketball. I love basketball more than being a doctor, a lawyer, or a scientist. And a lot of people told me I should be a doctor or lawyer or whatever, but my passion is basketball, and so that's why I play basketball. It's because I love doing it. I wake up every day and I feel like I'm very blessed to be able to be here, to be able to wake up, go to the gym, and that's what I have to do for work. What's your favorite part about being a Warrior? I would just say playing basketball in my hometown for the team I grew up cheering for, around my family, around my friends, around my coaches, everyone I grew up with. And so just being home, being able to play basketball for the team that I loved growing up is probably the best thing. How did you feel when you got rejected from the colleges of your choice? So I'm a Christian, and so I believe that everything that happens is part of God's perfect plan for me. And a lot of times there's situations in my life where things won't work out, whether it's not being able to go to Stanford or Cal to play basketball, or not getting drafted out of college. But just all that stuff, when you don't get what you want, that should just add more motivation, add more fuel to the fire, and you should be more motivated to work hard when that stuff doesn't happen. And that's what makes it so rewarding when success does come your way, whether it's winning a championship or signing a contract. And so just to be able to work even harder and learn from your failures or the things that didn't happen the way you wanted it to. Was it hard to get into the NBA? From Aaron Johnson. Yes, it was very hard. It was a tough process. It was a long process. But in the end, I'm just thankful that it turned out the way it did. How tall are you? From Penny Wong and Patrick Wing's kindergarten class. With shoes, I'm 6'4". And I like to say with shoes because it makes me a little bit taller. So when anyone asks how tall you are, you always tell them how tall you are with shoes on.
Listen up here. Before Jimmy asks these questions, right? Now you have to ask yourself, at what age did you start playing basketball with me or with your brothers or sister? Because here's the questions here.
At what age did you start playing basketball? Started playing probably when I was 5. So that's a little bit younger than you guys are. What's your second best sport after basketball? Are you good enough to play that sport professionally too? My second best sport is soccer, and I am not even close to being able to play that sport in college, let alone professionally. All right, last question. Sorry. How much practice does it take to become where you are now? From Sybil Few. It takes a lot of practice. It's something that you guys really have to work on, and so there would be times in college where I would just be in the gym until midnight or waking up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and working out, and so it definitely takes a lot of work. It's a lot of discipline. Even now, it's, you know, a day of working out might be shoot from 10 to 12, lift from 12 to 1, eat lunch, take a nap, and then work out in the afternoon for another 2 hours, and that might be my whole day, and so it takes a lot of work.